Hello, 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 everyone. This is Pamela Pedrick coming to you live today from my home here in Florida. If you are not familiar with me, welcome. I am Pamela Pedrick. I am a registered nurse and a certified holistic health coach, and I'm actually a nurse functional holistic health coach. What that means is that I help you to discover the root cause of your weight gain and or weight regain so that you can ditch dieting and also emotional eating. And we do this by discovering your five rights. We got to find your right nourishment, the eating plan that works best for your body, the right movement, the right rest, the right hormonal balance, and the right mindset. When we include all five of these rights and when we address them, not only are you able to lose weight, but you have a system in place to keep the weight off. As high as 95% of women who lose weight, gain it back within 6 months or less. Why? It's because a lot of what we do, a lot of what as women, a lot of what you're doing is not customized or personalized. It's more of a cookie cutter way of losing weight. Plus, they do not address this and this, your mindset and your heart. And these two can be out of alignment so that when you lose weight, if nothing has shifted here, you're inevitably going to go back to those old patterns of behavior because on the other side of weight loss can be unknown and it can be pretty scary for some people because what we're doing now is what's known. And the mind and the body, it really likes what's known, even if the known is unhealthy, because we know how to react, we know how to respond, we know what to do. On the other side of things, not so much. It can be pretty scary. So the body actually motivates you on a subconscious level to do things to keep the weight on because this hasn't changed. And oftentimes our own identity hasn't changed as well. So that's what I do as a major part of what I work with women when in my weight loss program called the Beyond the Fort program. So today I'm going to share with you 2 tips to how to kind of jumpstart your weight loss. Maybe you want it to wait to the beginning of the year. Maybe you got some momentum at the end of the year, and or maybe you're just kind of like, I'm ready right now. It's a new year, it's a new month. I'm ready to get going. I'm going to give you 2 tips to get you to jumpstart. And if you want more tips like this, I'm actually having a live training on Saturday and Sunday. Click the link. It's for both dates. I'm going to go over the mistakes that most women tend to make. I'm going to share with you what I come to create as the formula for not only successful weight loss, but keeping it off. And then I'm going to share with you a way to either get the momentum started or keep that momentum going after January, all through January and even after. Have you ever made a New Year's resolution and by the end of the month, it's gone by the wayside? Or maybe the first week in February, it's like, ixnay. Oftentimes, hey, I've made the same New Year's resolution 10 years in a row. So this training is going to help you to get the momentum and help you to take that into and after the new year as well. So just take this off. All right. By the way, if you have any comments, let me know. If you're watching the replay, let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, and which tip that you like as well. So, and the link to the training is actually in the description of this video. So tip number 1, eat breakfast. Okay, eat a protein breakfast. Most of our breakfasts tend to be high carbohydrate, high sugar, and we end up actually eating more sugar. There's something that happens in our brain. If you ever heard our brain on sugar, there actually happens to be something that the more sugar we eat, the more it's like, I want more sugar. I want more sugar. And then when we start a weight loss program, oftentimes we gravitate to more of the diet type foods, which are low in sugar or have artificial sweeteners. And artificial sweeteners actually cause you to crave. Try it next time. I actually went, Coke Zero used to be my diet soda on the go. Pepsi was second runner up. And I had gone off of soda for like 18 months. And then I had a time frame where I was working nonstop, like 7 days a week, and I was getting tired of coffee. I wanted some other caffeine. So I thought, let me just grab a Coke Zero. Remember, hadn't had any diet soda for 18 months. Within 45 minutes, I'm literally planning how to go to the gift shop and the snack shop to get some sugar. Is there anything in the vending machines I can get? Like I'm literally planning, okay, in 5 minutes I'm gonna go, what am I gonna get? I'm gonna get a Snickers bar, I'm gonna get Swedish Fish, like what am I gonna, I'm planning, I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? I'm like, oh my gosh, my sugar cravings are out of control. Like this hasn't happened to me in quite some time. And I was like, oh, the Coke Zero I just drank. Because the aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose actually make you crave sugar. Yeah, so that really brought it to mind when that happened to me. So first thing we do want to eat, protein breakfast. As much as 20 to 40 grams of protein in that breakfast. We also want to make sure that our carb to protein ratio is not what I call upside down. You actually want more protein in your breakfast than carbohydrates. Because if your carbohydrates are too high, and depending on what kind of carbohydrates you have with your breakfast, by the way, typical breakfast, pancakes, waffles, pastries, donuts, bagels, they're not a really good carbohydrate. They're most of them are simple carbs. So it spikes our blood sugar. Our blood sugar is up high, which we have some energy from the sugar, and then it drops. And then we feel wonky and low on energy. And then we go for either more caffeine or more pastries or more sugar to increase our blood sugar and by turn energy. You just know that you want some energy and you're just kind of craving something. But the body's going, we know from past experience, if you give us this food, we're going to feel better, at least in the immediate, and we're going to have a little bit more energy. So 20 to 40 grams of protein in that breakfast. So think of like your eggs, still cut oats, things along those lines. Now, if you are someone who is gluten intolerant, which I am, and I actually try not to do the gluten-free bagels or whatnot, because I know for me, if my carbohydrates, it's more than my protein, I'm going to feel like crap within an hour or two because I'm going to have that energy slump. So really good go-to is like a protein shake. Like at least 20 to, I actually do like 35 grams, 30 to 40 grams in the morning protein shake. It really will set you up for success, and protein satiates and prevents hunger so that you feel fuller and you're not gravitating towards those snacky, unhealthy snacks in between breakfast and lunch. And you won't have that energy slump. So 30 to 40 grams of protein in that. Now, the second tip was I had mentioned just earlier is watching the balance between your carbohydrates and your proteins. So making sure they're not upside down. So you actually want to have more protein overall during the day than carbohydrates. A really good kind of measurements, and it's going to be different specific for everyone, but a real general rule is you want at least 100 to 120 grams of protein, women, a day, and 75 grams to 85 grams of carbohydrates a day. One way that we can really immediately fix those carbohydrates is by watching our sugar intake. Now, sugar is in a lot of our packaged foods. In fact, as high as 75% of our packaged foods have sugar in it in one way, shape, or form. So the American Heart Association recommends for women no more than 25 grams of sugar a day. So a real easy way to do this is to look at the added sugar. So if you look on your label, it'll have carbohydrates. Under that will have sugar, and sometimes it'll have added sugar included. So an easy way to do this is look at your added sugar and potentially switch to a different brand or a different food that doesn't have the added sugar in it. Also be mindful of what you are putting into your beverages, like if you do coffee, if you do teas, things like because that adds up as well. A lot of the flavored creamers are full of tons of sugar. I mean, we just went through the holidays, right? So a lot of the Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, the holiday flavored coffees, full of sugar. Hey, I indulged as well. I did it my peppermint mocha, but it's actually full of sugar. So being mindful of, maybe doing less pumps in your coffee. So go down to 1 pump less. It's a way of decreasing your sugar and your carbohydrates. So for women, 100 to 120 grams of protein a day and 75 to 85 grams of carbohydrates a day. Real quick way to address the carbohydrate issue is to work on sugar. We want less than 25 grams of sugar a day. By the way, if you want the teaspoon amount, 4.4 grams is 1 teaspoon. So you're less than four teaspoons of sugar a day. That's total sugar that they recommend. And sugar is a lot of things. So if you want a really good protein shake that's really good overall, OWYN, spelled OWYN, it stands for only what you need, is a really good protein shake. I do not recommend the nutritional protein, also called a meal replacement protein shake, because the carbohydrates is way too much, but it has really good sources of protein, and it has like a superfood blend as well. OWYN, only what you need. You can go to liveowen.com. And they might have some potential sales going on. Every so often they'll have like a 50% off your order, which is really good. If you do their auto ship, it's less than Amazon Prime. And you can get it within like 3 to 5 days as well. And that's my go-to. I do a protein shake every morning. And it's recommended that you do your protein within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. Why? It's because we've been asleep for a certain amount of time. We haven't had any nourishment or fuel. And so we kind of fasted, hence the word breakfast, because we're breaking our fast. Well, if you ever gone camping, or you have a fireplace and you kind of bank the fire overnight, so when you wake up, it potentially could be embers or really small flames. What do you do first thing in the morning when you wake up is you put fuel on the fire, right? Why? It's because you want to have a higher heat, more of a fire, more burning. That's our metabolism. When we put protein in our body first thing in the morning, we start the metabolism to burn, and we're going to be burning fat more efficiently and faster as well. I'll give you an example of this. I moved into this present location about March of last year. And so I, by nature, because I was so busy, was eating a lot of protein just to satiate myself. I wasn't exercising, by the way, because I was busy packing, I was busy moving. So I wasn't really up to my regular exercise routine. And I lost weight and gained muscle. And the weight that I gained was muscle. It wasn't, because I gained muscle mass. So I slimmed down. I shouldn't say I lost weight. I slimmed down and looser clothing. But I was pretty much almost just about the same weight. Why? It's because I lost fat and increased muscle mass. That's what you want to do when you lose weight. So if you want more tips like this, tip number 1 was eat breakfast, 20 to 40 grams of protein in your breakfast. Tip number 2 is watch your ratio of carbohydrates to protein, 100 to 120 grams of protein a day for women, and 75 to 85 of carbohydrates per day for women, less than 25 grams of sugar. I recommend start on the sugar, which, by the way, the Cut the Sugar Challenge will help you with that. If you want more tips like this, I'm very practical and very real with my tips. I'm known as the Dietless Dieting Coach and the Reformed Dieter. Why? Because it's ditching dieting, because diets don't work for the long term. What does work is having the right nourishment, the right rest, the right hormonal balance, the right mindset, and the right movement. The 5 rights, of which I'm going to go over some of that in the live training, as well as a way to get momentum and continue momentum into and after January, so that you won't have another year of a New Year's resolutions that you quit, so that you do not quit on yourself. You are so worth getting to your optimal health and healthy weight for your unique body. You are worth it. You deserve it. You get to choose whether or not you're going to get it. If you want more information, simply click on the link and join the live training. That is going to be Saturday and another time on Sunday as well. To your health. By the way, let me know what you thought about these tips, if you've implemented them, and I'll see you next time for the next live training. Have a great day, everyone.